Hello,
Excellent.
everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining. Good morning. Sabah al khair. Namaste. Vanakkam. Kia ora. I'm learning all this. Bonjour. Thank you so much for joining for Business Show today. I welcome all of you and thanks a lot for giving your precious time to us today. Thank you so much. We have a very special guest today with us, Dr. Corrie Block. He is one
Hi.
of the top business coaches in the world. He's author, speaker. But I like one thing the most about him is he's an incredible human being. And I
Thank
have been
you.
fortunate to work with him. So thank you so much, Doctor, today for joining.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here and be a part of this. This is such a good moment in your life.
Thank you so much. I request all the participants, please say hello and write your name in the comments. And if you have any question, comments, recommendation, if you had any experience with me, please write because that will really help me a lot in starting my new journey. Thank you so much. Oh, it's so nice to share the craziest story.
No,
Although
it's
we
good.
had
Hey,
some technical issues.
would you mind if I shared a couple of thoughts before we begin? Is that okay?
Please, please. Yes, please.
I'm just so excited for you. Look, I've often told entrepreneurs that starting a new business is a bit like having a new baby, right? There's just screaming and crying and you don't sleep and there's so much stress and you're trying to figure out what to do and no one says thank you for anything and you're always trying to save it from killing itself for like 2 years, right? So it's a lot of work and it's a lot of effort and people generally don't understand or appreciate the amount of effort and stress and anxiety that goes into either raising a new baby or having a new business, right? So it's that kind of step that you're taking. And I remember when my first child was born, Gabriel. He's now 21 years old, but I remember when he was first born, I was equal parts like terrified and excited at the same time. I was
Oh,
absolutely like at the end of my fear and at the end of my excitement, and both of those things existed at the same time. And I can see that it's the same for you. And I remember about 6 years ago when I went out on my own and I decided that after exiting my last company, I decided I wasn't going to start another company the same way again. I was going to work on my own and work through internal teams. And that was going to change the game in my industry and change the game for myself. And even then, even with all of the experience and education that I collected up until that time, I was equal parts terrified and excited. And so I know that that's where you are now, is that sense of terrified and excited at the same time. It's an amazing place to be. And you feel so alive and you're just
that's
wondering,
right.
am I going to make it? Is the next year going to be okay? Are people going to appreciate the value that I bring to their lives? And I can tell you, Neetu, from my experience in working with you, absolutely. People are going to appreciate the value that you bring to their lives. As a speaker and a trainer to corporate environments, I think your message is absolutely needed and something that's going to motivate employees to perform better. And that's going to impact the bottom line of all of those organizations that you're working with. And individually, as a coach, I know that, look, nobody in any industry gets to the top without a coach, right? No athlete, no artist, no surgeon, and certainly no business leader will ever get to the top of their game without a really strong coach. And I know that what you provide as a coach is going to lead people to perform better in their own personal lives as well as in their careers. So I wouldn't worry at all. I would embrace the fear, embrace the excitement, and just get ready for the most incredible ride of your life.
Thank you so much. It means a lot, doctor. It means a lot. And you have been through this journey of me crying and like going crazy. You have seen how much I've troubled you during this journey. But
For all
I
good
also,
reasons, though. Like I said, it's like having a new baby. The parents cry just as much as the baby cries, right?
that's right. But
uh,
I always knew that I have something bigger purpose. I'm not just born to like do the work, have children, make a house, and die. I always
that's
felt
right.
that I can make a positive difference in the world and inspire millions of people. So, like after working in a very like safe and comfort zone of 20 years in a
Yeah,
corporate world with
exactly.
a highly paid job and the best company in the world. I love DP World. Thank you so much. Leaving that family, that comfort zone, and coming being a vulnerable business owner, It was
Yeah.
crazy, and I freaked out so many times. So God, I
Oh,
freaked
you're
out so
doing,
many times.
yeah, don't worry. Honestly, you're going to be fine. And look, like I said, I think as humans, we're born with two outcomes for everything. We either win or we learn. And as children, we learn to walk by falling down and getting up again, falling down and getting up again. And that teaches us resilience, first of all, because we keep getting up. And it teaches us that failure is a choice. And it's not until later in our lives, when we're about 5 or 6 years old, when an adult that we respect and that we love teaches us, that we learn that failure is an option. At some point, some adult will look at you and say, you know what, maybe that's just not for you. And that's the first time that it'll occur to you that you can stop trying,
Yeah,
right? So
that's right.
we actually, failure is a learned behavior. It's a learned posture, because our natural behavior and our natural posture is to just keep trying until we win and keep
That's
learning
right.
from the undesired outcomes.
And I think, falling in love with failure and learning from that is the most important thing for growing in life. And that's what I did like during this journey. I remember once you
Yeah,
told me, if you want to succeed, get ready for 1,000 no's before hearing one yes. And that
that's
was like,
exactly right.
that was beautiful. That
Yeah,
was
like
beautiful.
like I in the consulting business, when you're doing leadership training and executive coaching and keynote speaking, I think it's 1,000 cups of tea, right? People don't want to risk bringing your influence in until they've already bought into you, and that takes time.
Yeah,
We live in a society where relationships are very consumeristic, and we have throwaway relationships. We have instant dating and instant connection, and anyone from anyone can like anyone from anywhere and for any reason at all. And so we've lost some of the depth of relationship that's required in order to build that kind of trust
that's true.
based platform where we can say, yeah, you know what, your influence is what my people need. And so it takes 1,000 cups of tea to get there. Well, it's not literally 1,000 cups of tea; it's a number of cups of tea. But I think the big thing is just to make sure that you're putting in the time, making eye contact, and building rapport with the people that you want to influence. Because if they're going to invite you into their lives, it's only going to be with the trust that you've established before that invitation happens.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think building the right, like having that support system in place and
Hmm.
having your tribe has played tremendous role, because I was really like coming out of that comfort zone, and every time I was scared, I was falling down, I was like freaking out. My support system, my mentor, guide, coaches, my
Yeah.
friends, and my tribe was always there to hold me, and they were believing in me. And I think that was the one thing that made my conviction so strong that yes, I can do
Sure.
it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
sure.
always knew my why, but for the how, to figure out how, I think everyone was there to help me how to do
Yeah.
that.
Well, why
That's
don't you
right.
share with the people that are with us now? Why don't you share your why? Like, why are you okay? First of all, you've got a great job and you've quit a great job. Like, I know where you work and I know what you do. And so for you to
Yeah.
walk away from that, either you're insane or you're brilliant. Okay. So
Yeah.
it's got to be one of those things. So tell us why are you doing this insane slash brilliant thing?
In last 20 years, I felt without even knowing, I was inspiring so many people, like thousands of people, students to whom I like taught, engineering students 20 years back. When they come back and say, ma'am, you told this thing that year, and now they are running company, and they are telling the same thing to their teams. And I said, wow, did I say that? I
Yeah.
don't even remember it. So without even knowing, I was impacting thousands of people. And then I
Mm,
realized that now I have reached a point, if I have to ins- inspire millions and billions, I need to do it as a full time. I can't like sail in
yeah.
two boats. So that was the reason. And I knew that the purpose is pulling me. It is, the inner voice is so strong and prominent that there is
Yeah.
no way I can stop it. Like I always say, people can help me to go faster, but nobody has the power in the world to stop me.
Right.
So, and I have been fortunate that my people were there around me to help me to go faster there.
Yeah,
But
that's
that,
right.
yeah, and the words have power. And I always say, I speak to inspire people, and
Mhm.
that makes the whole change. Like I have thousands of stories to share, but in favor of time, I won't share that, how small sentences change somebody's whole life.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. So it
Oh,
was
that's really
like,
good. Like, Yeah, so we know that you inspire a lot of people, but I'm interested to know, and I'm sure there's others that are interested to know, who inspires you? Like, where does
Oh,
your inspiration comes from?
my main inspiration comes from my daughter, because the way she
Oh
sees
wow.
world, it's beautiful. Like, she pure
Yeah,
plain
yeah,
glass. She sees the things as they are, and I've started, after being a mother, I have changed
yeah,
completely. That is the one thing. And the way I share my stories with her and things, and how she
yeah.
responds to that, so that's the biggest inspiration. The other biggest inspiration is it how a small sentence can change someone's life forever.
Absolutely.
Like,
Absolutely.
people have started taking stand, they started publishing their article, they started speaking in public, giving presentations, they got promoted just by hearing one sentence of some of my speech, some of my talk, or some of the videos. And when they come and say, we heard this thing and we implemented, and this is how it changed our life. So I was, wow, like, I never knew I'm making this difference.
You know what? Honestly, I'm going to tell you something encouraging, because I still get people writing me emails that I don't remember them at all. I meet like 10,000 people a year, and so I get emails from people that I spoke to 10 years ago, 15 years ago, who will they'll reach out to me on LinkedIn, or they'll reach out to me through my website and say, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was at this event you spoke at, and you said this thing." And it'll be
Yeah,
some sentence that I just, it wasn't really planned. I didn't think about it. It wasn't crafted, and it just said it. And that became like a pivotal moment for them, because it hit them right. It was the right combination of words, and it hit their head and it hit their heart at exactly the right time for what they needed at that moment. And they made a significant decision, and that changed the course of their lives. And I can't tell you, I think it's at least more than 24 times now I've had emails from people
yeah.
whom I've met but honestly don't remember, and they've been from a decade before, and they've said, "You know what, my life radically changed as a result of what you said, and I just wanted to say thank you." So Nitu, that is in your future. Okay, that
Yeah.
is your future, is that in 10 years from now, you'll be receiving emails and messages on LinkedIn from people who say, "You know what, I heard you speak at this event, and you might not remember me, but I sure remember you." I want that memory for you, and I'm certain that you're going to get it.
On this, I want to share one story of you, me, and my daughter. This thing, I remember when I was going through this journey, and one day, like, when I shared this decision with my daughter, that okay, I'm planning to do like this, start on my own. And
Yeah.
she got scared, and she came to me. She was holding my hand and saying, "Amma, this means we will never go for the vacation anymore, and I can't go for my horse riding." And I started crying. And next day, I called you and we spoke, and you said, I think this is going to impact my life. And you said, yeah, it's going to impact your life, but that impact is going to be good than bad. And that changed the whole perception. So sometimes, like,
Yes.
as you said, the small word, I was thinking
Yeah.
impact is bad, but impact could be good also. And that
100%.
was
Look,
terrifying experience. I, like, still when like, I can hear her voice actually, Mama, we can't go for vacation anymore. And I was thinking, oh God, I'm putting my daughter in like such a big danger.
oh
I was
no, look,
scared.
yeah, there's sacrifices to be made, but like I said, it's like having a baby. You know what? When you have a baby for the first 2 years, there are just some things that you can't do. There are
Yeah,
some sacrifices that need to be made, but you know what? You had a baby. Like, what do you expect? It takes a tremendous amount of effort to have that child and to raise it until it's old enough and mature enough to stand on its own and have its own momentum. And it's not different with a business. When you start out, it takes a lot of time. There's a lot of effort. You're running a lot, and there's not a lot of time for vacation days. And the days
yeah,
off that you get, you cherish those days with your family, because there's so much to do in terms of business development and marketing and outreach and getting your message out there. So I totally get it, and I understand where your daughter is coming from. But again, yes, it's going to impact your family, but it's going to impact your family in the same way that a new child would impact your family. It is an absolute blessing.
yeah.
It is a blessing that requires a tremendous amount of effort. That's what it
That's
is.
right.
It's a blessing that
That's right.
requires effort, you know?
That's
And it's
right.
not like you're not going to take vacations anymore. It might be a little while before you have an extended vacation, because you need time to invest in your business. But eventually you're going to have the freedom, both in time and in finances, to be able to take whatever vacation you want. And that's what
That's
you're
right.
investing in, you know?
Yeah. And I remember, like, I never worked in last 20 years only for 8 hours. I have worked for 8 hours is my office. And after that, I have come home and worked for 2 to 3 hours every single day and on
That's
weekend. And
right.
so I feel that small efforts which I have made for last 20 years, this is
Yeah,
a
of
result
course.
of those efforts. In fact, like
Yeah.
last Tuesday, when Tuesday was my last working day, Wednesday, my husband thought I'll get up at 9 o'clock. I put again 5 o'clock alarm and I woke up. So, so I'm waking up at 5 o'clock, no matter
That's
I have to go to
perfect.
Jammu to my office
That's
or not.
perfect. Exactly. No, the life of an entrepreneur, right? People think it's so relaxed. Whenever I talk to people, they think I live this, wonderfully charmed life. Oh, it must be so nice to have control of your time. And I'm like, yeah, I have control of my time. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day. That's
Yeah,
what control of your time means. And it's like, yeah, okay, so I can take vacation when I want, but if I don't work, I don't get paid. That's it. Like if I'm not working, I'm not earning. And then my family suffers as a result of that. So even with the freedom to take as much vacation as I want to, I really don't. I
yeah.
work, and that's the reality. Is having command of your time means you have to command your time. There's nobody going to hold you accountable to that, and that's a tough thing. Now, I know you shared with us how your daughter feels about the change that you've just made, but how do you feel? How is this impacting you emotionally?
I feel when I started this, I was terrified, believe me. And but now I feel more confident. And yeah, of course, fear is there, but that fear is 10%,
Sure.
90% is confidence. When I started, I knew what I have to do, but still I was not quite sure about the journey. So 90% was fear and 10% was like confidence.
Sure.
So this is like transformed now. But fear, I think, will remain there. Every day I
Yeah,
need
look,
to get up.
it's yeah, look, I've been a father for 21 years and I'm still scared for my son. I'm still trying to protect him from the world. I'm still trying to
Yeah,
provide input. So that
yeah.
that kind that the metaphor still holds true. And those fears are
That's
always going to
true.
be there. What do you think is actually going to be your biggest challenge now that you've made this jump?
My biggest challenge, actually, in when we started this journey, my biggest challenge was the mindset shift. That
Mm,
was like being a secure
yeah,
employee that my CEOs, chief commercial officer, they are bringing the business. I just have to do a small part of my job, and that's it.
yeah.
3:30, I can go home. But now I'm like a vulnerable business owner. I have to go in the market, find the business, do everything. So that
Yes.
the mindset shift took me much, like that was the most challenging thing. Other things fell in place, but that was the thing. And now if I see is that keeping the same momentum and determination which I had,
Right.
and keeping my why very clear. I think that's my only focus right now. Because if I know my why, I'll get up at 5 o'clock. I'll be ready to attend. Like New Zealand, I had some calls, and some Canada. So I was getting up in like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in morning, because it's daytime there and nighttime for us. So
Yeah,
that,
that's
and I
great.
love to do that. I don't see, oh God, I need to get up. I love to do that.
I
So
think
yeah,
I
that's the thing.
remember I remember it was like your head exploded. It was a couple of months ago when you were like, "Oh, I need to plan a party to celebrate my new business." I'm like, "No, no, you don't plan a party. Like the launch event for your new company is 30 phone calls and 100 emails. That's your launch party." And you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh." Yeah, so I think that
I know.
just
I was like, wow, this is the launch.
just waking up
Yeah,
to the reality of, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to feed this child every night, all through the night. I'm never going to sleep again. That sort
yeah.
of that mindset shift. Even when you become a parent, it's the same. It's like, oh my goodness, my life has changed dramatically. And then, yeah, okay, so you can have a cake and you can cut cake and celebrate, but you're still going to have to get up in the middle of the night and feed that child. You know,
That's right.
and I think that reality. I mean, for me, that was the biggest mind shift for me too. When I went through that, is the reality of just um, how much internal momentum I was going to have to find and create for myself, because there's nobody holding me accountable. There's
Yeah,
nobody holding you accountable anymore, right? If you don't do it, it doesn't get done, and that's the end of the story. You
yeah.
know.
That's
Oh, but
true.
that's
That's true.
that's really good. Look, yes, it is a big challenge, but it's not an insurmountable challenge, and you have exactly the right kind of character to pull this off. So how would you say that you're preparing yourself now for this next part of your journey?
The the one thing I'm doing is that I prepared my parachute even before jumping. So that
Yeah,
like, and I was preparing for last 20 years without even knowing it, like doing all certification, training, learning, creating content, creating meaningful relationship and network. I'll give emphasis on meaningful, because just connecting with
Yeah,
people doesn't help if it's not meaningful. So all
that's
this
right.
I was doing for a long time and working for 10 hours minimum a day. And I'm working not because somebody's pushing me. My office
Yeah,
finishes by like 8 hours, but I love to do that. And still I love to do for 10 hours work. So this is a
yeah.
preparation. Consistency is the most important thing I feel, and adding value more than expectation. I think
Hmm.
that's something I'm focusing. I have always focused and I focus on. If somebody's expecting me one, two, three, I would rather give one, two, three, four, five.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that's
exactly.
the
Over
difference.
deliver, right?
Yeah, over deliver. That's right. And then believing in the process, because we cannot see that clearly. How will it unfold? We just have to believe and keep on going. Like Steve Jobs has said, that you have to believe that dots will connect backward. So believe
That's
in
right.
that process and just go ahead. And the most important thing, I think you said in the beginning of the talk, coaches, mentors, guides are required in life, because we can't see things which they come and tell us. So anybody,
Yep.
if you have to improve, they need some guidance from somebody who is already there where we want to reach in our life.
That's right. Yeah, there's no
Yeah,
Olympic champion without a coach. There's
that's
no major surgical resident without a coach. There's no great musician without a coach. There's no great singer without a voice coach. Like, this is known in every industry. You cannot reach the top unless you have a coach. And even if you're the best footballer in the world, even if you're Cristiano Ronaldo has a coach. Okay. Now, Cristiano Ronaldo's coach doesn't play football as well as he does, but he sure coaches better. And
uh,
that's the key to becoming the best of who you can be and performing at your natural best, is to make sure that you have the company and you have the input of an amazing coach. And that coach might not be able to play your game as well as you can, but they can sure coach it better. And that's what you need to be an all-star player in your own life.
that's right. Even I read it somewhere that don't have a coach who doesn't have a coach, because everybody
Yes.
is constantly improving. I love that so much.
100%. Yes, 100%. Yeah, look, we're
Yeah,
social animals. We're as human beings, we're social animals and we need input from each other. And there are just some things that you can't you can't discuss with a therapist about your business platform and your some of your career aspirations, because as good as a therapist is, they're not a career coach. They're not a
that's
business coach. So there's different kinds of voices that you need in your life. And yeah, I think it's appropriate, not just appropriate, it's necessary for anyone that wants to play at the top of their game, to get themselves a good coach, so that they have that consistent input, that clarity, the strategy, and the accountability that comes with that, to make sure that they're performing at their natural best. I
that's
think
I agree 100% for this.
one of the things that I would love for you to say before we end is, I want the people here that are listening to hear your core message. What is Look, you left an amazing job because you have a message to bring to the world, and I know that message really well, but I want them to hear it from you. So in your own voice, what's your core message?
My core message is that, not I'm a very extra, like I'm a very average person, but I found out my why, and I know that nothing can stop me to achieve that. And nothing is easy, so we have to keep experimenting with things don't stop where you are. Just keep experimenting. There is no sure short thing that if you do ABC you will reach. Even coach cannot tell you, any coach, any guide, mentor, nobody can tell you this is sure short. We have to experiment with things, keep exploring. Just life has
Yeah,
so many things to offer. Just keep
yeah,
exploring things, try different option. If it doesn't work, don't get demotivated, try another thing. I
100%.
try so many on LinkedIn, people can see I try so many things. Something works, something doesn't work, that's fine. So you will find many ways that things work and don't work. And the most
That's right.
important thing, keep evolving. Evolving doesn't mean
Mhm.
that from cave age we have come here. Evolving means every day we are evolving and becoming something new. Today, I know so many things much better than what I knew yesterday. And I know what
Yeah.
technical challenges can come in StreamYard because today I faced it for the first time before we even could go live.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
second, we are learning so much. The moment we stop learning, we start dying. So that's
That's
my
right.
core message. Just keep evolving every single day. And after 20 years, we surprise ourselves. My goodness, I came so far. I did not even realize it. So we
Absolutely.
surprise ourselves with
Absolutely.
these
I'm
small
really
efforts which
excited for
we do.
you. Yeah, I'm really
Thank you.
excited for you. And I know that 10 years from now, Neetu is super grateful that you've made this decision. And she's so excited for the journey you're about to embark on, because she already knows that it works out really well for you. And I'm there too. I'm very confident. Look, I've seen a lot of coaches come and go. I know that in Dubai, you can throw a rock and hit a coach anywhere, right? So there's a lot of coaches around, but there are not a lot of coaches with your depth of experience and your depth of credential. Like, that is actually really rare. To find somebody that has hundreds of hours of experience like you have, and with all of the credentials and learning that you have, you are a lifelong learner and addicted to your own self-development, and that really shows in the quality that you provide in your coaching. So just because there's a lot of coaches out there doesn't mean they're all equal. And I can tell you from my experience with you and knowing something, not just something, knowing a lot about your profile, that you're one of the top-rated coaches in Dubai. We just don't know it yet, and so you're gonna be just fine.
Thank you so much. It means a lot, especially hearing from somebody of your caliber. It means a lot.
It's my pleasure. Honestly, it's my pleasure to work with you, Neetu. And if there's anything that I can do to add quality to your life, please let me know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining today. It was incredible. I'm so happy. And if you can please write recommendation or comments or your experience, whatever you had with me and with Dr. Corrie and about this talk, please write in comments and please write in recommendation. That is the biggest help we require from you. Thank you so much. Thanks a lot, Dr. Corrie.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everyone.